This is a review of the Galactic X by Propel drone. This is a review primarily on the battery. This is the drone. The drone flies very well. The handling and the controls are nice, excellent. The camera quality is good. There are people who have posted videos showing all of that. If you can see in there, there's a space between the two black pieces here. That lower tab is what you use to hook your nail on to pull the battery out. It's a terrible setup, difficult to see as well. So here's my solution. This is the battery compartment. That orange you see here is actually nail polish, orange fluorescent nail polish, to make that black piece very visible. I also placed a piece of shiny tape on the little tab here on the battery because there's not a lot of space between those two. I don't know what that black piece when I put the nail polish on is for. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the door, but it's difficult to get your nail in between the two and get that battery out. Usually I end up catching the top one, so it kind of made it a little easier to spot. One of the complaints I have with reviews on these drones is very few people seem to talk about the batteries. Many of the batteries have plugs on them, so similar to what the camera has here. So they're quick swap outs if you get to replace a secondary battery. None of these batteries provide very long life. You get 5, maybe 10 minutes of flying time. This one's rated for 5 to 6 minutes. The other complaint on this one is where that on-off switch is beside the plug. Bad location. You got lots of room out here on the side. You could have put that a lot easier to get to. Again, just poorly designed. This battery is hardwired inside this case. I have been to the Propel website. I have been to other websites, eBay and so on, to try to get a second one. So instead of flying it for 5 minutes, you can get 10 minutes out of it. The other downside to this battery is it has to be plugged into a computer. It cannot be plugged into a wall brick or a wall outlet like you use for your cell phone. The warning and the instructions are not to use any of these type of plugins. It also takes 120 minutes to charge this battery. So before you consider buying it, think about that. It's 120 minutes. That's 2 hours, 4, 5, maybe 6 minutes flying, depending on how you use the unit. Again, it flies nice. I like it has altitude control, which I think is something you should consider when buying a drone, your first one. If it doesn't have altitude control and you send the thing up and it loses radio contact, it keeps going. This here will maintain it at least at an altitude you desire while you use this one to learn to fly it left and right. It does have the heads up so that regardless of which way the drone is facing you, the control determines whether it moves to you or away from you. The orange is the front where the camera is. If you don't have the heads up display is and you push the lever away from you, the drone will fly at you because the drone's facing you. With the heads up, it would still fly away from you. That's a nice feature. But again, like I said, most of this review is about the battery. It was $79 Canadian plus taxes, so almost $100 for this drone. The battery is the disappointment. If you're going to charge that kind of money for these drones, and I know it's not to some people it's not a lot, but to me it is. I work hard for my money. I want value for it, and giving me a dinky ass little battery that takes 120 minutes to fly, to charge. Giving me a battery that takes 120 minutes to charge, so I can fly something for 5 minutes, maybe 6 tops if I don't use the camera. That's pretty crappy. Step up. If you want to get people into flying drones and buying these things, put a little more quality into them. Really, we have the technology available today. I don't get it. It just seems like a cheap ass throw together. I would not recommend buying this drone, not because of its flying ability, but because of its battery. Something to think about when purchasing a drone. And for those guys who are really into the drone flying, I'm just a beginner, how about doing a little more reviewing on batteries?